To perform the squat to pike, you will require a mop handle, brush handle, dowel, rod, or even something like we have, the Rogue War Bar. Now, your hand position down the line will be shoulder width apart, and I'll explain that in a minute. But what I'd like you to do is take your hands wider so we can keep them nice and straight throughout. To perform the squat to pike, you'll require a dowel rod, a mop hand. To perform the squat to pike, you'll require a dowel rod, a mop handle, a brush handle, or something like we have here at JP's, the Rogue War Bar. Now, hand position for this variation, we're going to take a wider grip, and I'll explain that when we get to the bottom of the position. All right? Now, have your feet together, and then we're going to squat down. So what I want you to do is think knees forward and hips low, and then pull the ribs or the lower ribs as close to your thigh as you possibly can. Now, if my arms were close into the pole just now, you notice I've got a lot of bend in at the elbows. So I don't really want you to have that. I want you to keep the arms fixed throughout the entire movement. Okay? So keep the lower rib as close to your thigh as you possibly can. Shoulders, take them away from the ears. And then you're going to come up into your pike by straightening out your legs, and your aim is to keep the lower rib as close to the thigh as you possibly can. Now, your standard in palms to floor pike is straight legs, hips stacked over heels. Then keep the pole close and go back down into your squat. Back up into pike, and you'll notice my range is starting to improve as time goes on. This is why it's important not to force your position initially. Just see what your body's willing to give you. Back down. So that's your basic squat to pike. What you can do if your range is very, very good is you can elevate yourself on a stepper, even like something we have, or something like we have, the bumper plates. You can do that too. You do have people doing it on benches as well, but sometimes they can be quite unstable. So if you are elevated, we'll go back to the hand position I was referring to start with. So if we now go in the shoulder width position, and then I would just bring my feet forward a little bit, go back down into your squat, and notice that my wrists are in line with my toes. Then you're up into your pike. Back down into your squat. Again, keep the lower ribs glued to the thighs. And that's two variations of your squat to pike. What you can also do is use a little bit more resistance to coax you into position. So we have 15 kg barbells, which are fantastic to use. So they really help promote a good stretch in the bottom position as well. So that's the squat to pike.